Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Today, Jerry Springer died, and he had a show. Some people call it nasty, some people controversial, some people call it this, some people call it that. I think that show was fantastic, and I'm going to tell you why. Because it showed you reality. It showed you it's an educational show. For me, Jerry Springer's show was an educational show. Why? Because when I came here in the United States of America, I came from a country where, for instance, only certain kind of people had good clothes. And those usually were the intellectuals, because they had more money and they took care of themselves and they were more, you could tell. So when I came to the United States, kind of everybody was dressed good. So then you have this little, naive interpretation of reality according to your culture that who's dressed nicely must be, a person that has some kind of understanding of the world and not a piece of trash. So then how do you understand that? By experiencing life. If you look at our lives, and I guarantee you it's the same thing with you, you learned most of the things that you know from someone else and not from your direct experience rubbing shoulders with people. How do you learn? From school. And the school is someone else tells you that from someone else's experience or research or anything like that. Our direct experience gave us this much information of the world compared with this much that we get from the TV, from the shows, from life, from school, from books. This is where we get information. So, on the other hand, when you watch a movie, when you see a show on the TV, those are fake. Those are fake representation of reality. So they can make a pig fly, they can make a criminal a saint, and so on. They can make whatever they want. Now, this show, Jerry Springer show, was, I think, channeled towards sensational and all that. But it showed you, it allowed people over there, and not only people they were, featured on the stage, people in the audience, Americans, that it enhanced your knowledge of human nature. That was a case study. Every time, I didn't watch it like, oh my God, I didn't watch it like that. I watched it on YouTube when I was like, oh my God, what's this? Oh my! First I think I watched it on a videotape, so a long time ago, if I remember correctly. And then with YouTube, I watched on YouTube, and it's very interesting. You find the level of a certain kind of strata of the society, and you learn. You learn, if you're looking at it that way, you learn how people have views about life. Real people. Not you can read a psychology book and they tell you about this and they tell you about that, about mass psychology or this and that control. And yeah, that is an abstract. But that was like you were over there. It was a case in front of you, a real case. Like, for instance, there are some videos that I watched a lot at one point, made by regular people. And they are people who are going, let's say, with a camera, and they go around, let's say, a post office, US post office. Or they go to areas where they can, by law, they can videotape, but you have people inside that are dumbasses. They don't know, but they think they have the authority, and they call the police on these people to arrest them because they cannot videotape the post office off. Right? You can videotape a post office, but they think you can't. Why? Because their policy doesn't supersede the Constitution, but they don't know that. So anyway, in California, there were a lot of videos like this, and the interaction between the individuals and the cops, who are dumbasses too. Most of them. Some of them were knowledgeable, some of them were kicked in the balls so many times that they learned that they cannot do anything, and these guys were ready with the law. But the whole thing was, we can arrest you. You have to give. You have to leave. No, I don't have. I'm gonna call the police. Well, kick rocks. They called the police. The police tried to arrest them and do all that. Some of them were arrested, and then these guys pressed charges. So that was real life experience. How you interact with the police officer, how you push buttons, what they can do, what they cannot do. You can read books and you can read that. So that's why, for me, Jerry Springer, then, a long time ago, it helped me, to study the US society, certain strata All right, but that strata is the one that sometimes we are supposed to look at in a certain way. But you say, wait a minute, you tell me that snake is not venomous, but I know it's venomous because I saw videos with that snake biting that person, that person, that person, that person, and say, how about we save that snake? Maybe we give him some money. Maybe we give him some aid. Maybe we could, not AIDS, aid. Maybe we could give him something. And they say, no, I don't want, because that person or that snake doesn't want to do anything. No, there's just a misconception. And then you get called names. So that enhances your direct experience without experiencing yourself or without having a professor telling you something that a study was done by an activist. You have no filter over there. You see how this guy, Jerry Springer, was pushing things, buttons and so on. There were certain things that were exaggerated, certain things that probably they knew exactly what they're supposed to do. You can say, well, they were fake. Not everything was fake. I saw a different face. Well, I worked first in some areas here in this country, in some fields. So I had the opportunity to be in that strata of the society and rub shoulders with them. And they're humans. They have good things. They had bad things, like we all do. But it was like across the board, like culture. You know, like we have a subculture, and you have main culture, and so on. So I think he was an asset. Asset, not because I think he came with the idea. I think he was allowed to do that. I think there were many that came with ideas, because there are certain things that right now, for instance, you see bare knuckle championships. I'm pretty sure this was something which was before with no problem. No, they tried to make it illegal in certain. It is legal in some states. It's illegal. I don't care about it. They can do it if those guys want to go and beat the shit out of themselves, and that's not my problem. As long as you are free. If you're not free, then the government tells you, no, you can't do that. I have many ideas on that kind. Like, for instance, you have a problem with a neighbor. Why shouldn't I just say, we write, yeah, I'm going to fight the neighbor to this level. Like you have the duels. What was wrong with the duels? It was illegal. It was not illegal, and it was illegal. It was not illegal. Why is it illegal? If I and Gigi want to go and we have settled scores like that, and we are supposedly free people, where is the problem? Why some other people say, no, you can't do that. What do you mean? If I have a rock here and I want to hit my face with that rock, should it be illegal or something? Or the government is, what's going on here? And I'm going to go from Kevorkian and I'm going to go to other things. You know what I mean? Am I in control of my life, or I'm not in control of my life? Normal or abnormal, as you might consider the behavior. So Jerry Springer was allowed to do that, and he probably had a very good sense of business, and he did it. Good for him. Rest in peace, and do that when you go. Up there. I don't know. I think wasn't he Jewish? So I don't know where they go actually over there. I don't know how the Old Testament has it with that. But anyway, I think he was Jewish. But if he was, it doesn't really matter. The fact is, I think he was an asset and a educational. You can use his show as low as it was, and look and use it as an educational tool of real life. And videos, as I said, on YouTube or whatever, that's real life, not what other people tell you. You can say that, if a police officer shows up, if you're FBI, you have the right. No, watch how it really happens. Not and you learn, because you're like you are over there. And it's real, it's not, professors and studies and BS, you know what I mean, censorship and all that. All right, well, what can I say? We all kick the bucket one day. There are some who think they will not, but we leave them alone, and we don't disturb them too much. They have the right to think whatever, as long as they don't hurt anybody else but themselves. I'm okay with that. You can't do that. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.